which I guess that segues us into their second return album, their second comeback.
Oh yeah, here we go.
And
I I I cannot wait to
you
talk
can
about this. Let's put it that way.
about.
I'm so excited.
I know you're a big fan of this, so I'll let you kick this one off.
All right. So California. I actually, to be honest, you might think I'm crazy for this. This is the first Blink-182 album I bought physically with it and with my own as a CD. So I was like, all right, because I knew them for a while, but this is the first one I bought on CD. And holy God, what a fun!
I'm curious.
What's that?
Did you get the original or the deluxe?
I did not get the deluxe.
Okay.
The white kind. Yeah.
I ended up getting both because I bought this the day it came out, and then I bought the deluxe a year later when that came
out. Yeah, there's a lot of great tracks on this album, but I gotta tell you, like, I got the white cover. I didn't get the black California cover. Yeah, the deluxe. What an album! Oh my God! Like, you and I probably got a lot to say on this, but oh my God, like, there are some fantastic songs on this record, on this album, just in general. There's everything from the opening track, Cynical, which was great, Bored to Death, come on, She's Out of Her Mind, and then it just from there, it got to me, like, some standouts were like Los Angeles, Built This Pool. It's 16 seconds, but it's great.
It's hysterical.
Yeah, it's like, we want to see some naked dudes. Build this. It's fun. It's a fun, like, 16-second thing.
Album is. It's fun. Like, there's one word to describe this album. It's fun. I think it's probably the most fun thing as a whole that they put out. The addition of Matt was great. I think he does a great job, in Tom's place. Word on the street is the rumors that Tom might be coming back in some form. I'd like to see them do something as a 4-piece band. That'd be cool. But honestly, it'd be fine if Tom never comes back. Matt has been doing an incredible job, and this album, I was skeptical going into it, of course, because I was like, to me, before they announced they're going to be like replacing him, I was like, yeah, Blink-182 is Mark, Tom, and Travis. Is what it is, So I went in skeptical, and I heard Bored to Death, and I wasn't too blown away by it. Like, lead single, I was like, all right, it's all right. Then the album came out, and I listened to it. Let me tell you, this album was my album of this summer for 2016. Really? Me and my friends, we listened to nothing but this album that summer. It was like so good, such like good times with it. Really not like much more to say other than that. It's fun. It's Blink-182 getting back to doing what they do best, having fun and making stupid jokes. Now, I know there are criticisms from people about John Feldman's production, specifically the amount of na-nas and la-las on the album. Who cares? They're fun. Like, if you want serious music, go back, listen to Untitled, go back, listen to Neighborhoods. But when I listen to Blink, I want to hear fun things. Now, I will say, here's my one criticism of the album. Only one. It's weird to hear like 40-year-old dudes singing about being teenage satellites and being kings of the weekend. It's a little cringy. They're old. It does come off a little bit odd.
I see where you're coming from with that.
But it's still fun because it's going to be a lot of kids finding them through this. It's going to be a lot of kids hearing Blink for the first time from this album. And I'm sure it did. I'm sure a lot of kids got brought into it from this.
Everything you said and more. Like, it's fun. And like I going back to my standout tracks, like, I probably listened to this album more than any other Blink-182 album, to be honest with you, because everything from Cynical, Bored to Death, like the ones I listen to, like, almost on a daily basis. Cynical, Bored to Death, She's Out of Her Mind, Los Angeles, Built This Pool. Yes, I said it. So San Diego and the title track California. Wow.
Very interesting because we have very different highlights from this album.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to point out I did not know until just now looking at this that Patrick Stump was a writer on Sober. That's interesting. It's a great song. I love that song. Uh, but my standouts, I try to do like top three standouts from each album. My top three, No Future. That's like a deep cut from the album, gets like overlooked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So fun. The chorus is like so bouncy and fun. She's Out of Her Mind, great one. And San Diego, top three for me. San
Oh yeah.
Diego is like one of the only serious songs on the album, but it does it so well. Which I see Patrick Stump also co-wrote that one as well. He did
How
a
about
great
that?
job co-writing this.
Yeah.
Also, my, I will touch upon the deluxe in a little bit here, but low points for me. Interesting, you mentioned Los Angeles. I'm not a fan of the song Los Angeles very much. It's okay. Uh, and then Left Alone. Left Alone, I feel like is the one filler song on the album.
Yeah.
I could do without it. I don't think the album really needed it, but it's all right. It's not a bad song. Like none of the songs are bad. They're just kind of, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point.
Do you have any songs on the album that you're like low points to you?
Any low points, man? On the regular standard edition, probably. I really, honest to God, can't really think of one. I mean, the lowest I would go, like I don't really rank the songs like necessarily like 1 out of 10, but like some I know some people do, but like I was gonna say, like the only thing that like maybe Left Alone. That's about it. I love this album. It's so fun.
It's great, but even Left Alone, I never skip it because usually when I listen to this album, it's one of the albums I listen to front to back. So like
Yeah,
when it comes on, I never think about skipping. It's just the one song. I'm like, yeah, probably didn't need it, but I generally don't skip it. Now, the deluxe edition,
yeah. Let's talk about that.
not as good in my opinion. I was a little let down with it. I see why it was deluxe. Highlights from that for me would have been "Hey, I'm Sorry," which is one of the best Blink-182 songs. Should have been a single. Should have been on the original version of the album. Parking Lot and Good Old Days. Good Old Days makes me feel very nostalgic. Uh, Low points from there. Bottom of the Ocean and Last Train Home. Not a fan of. Uh, Bored to Death live and acoustic. It's a live acoustic version of Bored to Death. It could have done without it. Thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah. The deluxe for me, I mean, personally, I haven't like fully dove into the deluxe because I love the original, the standard cut so much. I would say I'd have to say like the most, like the only, you're gonna laugh at me. The only thing I've really listened to off of that peaked that like caught my eye was actually the live and acoustic Bored to Death, because I have a which is funny enough because I actually I have like a coffee house acoustic guitar acoustic songs playlist on Spotify.
Yeah.
And I added that in there because I was like, all right, it's an acoustic. I'm looking for like punk rock songs that went acoustic, like Good Riddance by Green Day and whatnot. And that was one of them.
So if you haven't listened to the deluxe edition, I highly recommend doing it if you like California, because you probably will really like it.
Right.
I don't think it's good. Now, in terms of my ranking, I didn't take the deluxe into consideration because I don't count it as part of the album. I count it as like an extra, kind of like the Dogs Eating Dogs of Neighborhoods, just a release afterwards.
Yeah, I agree.
The Parking Lot, fantastic song. Hey, I'm Sorry though. That song I knew from the year even before the deluxe edition was released because it was the Japanese bonus track on California, which Japanese bonus tracks is a rant for a whole nother day I have. But when I heard that, I was livid that they did not put that on there.
Yeah.
And so when I heard it was coming out on the deluxe edition, I was so happy. It's one of their top tier songs. Honestly, probably top 5 Blink song for me. Having said that, I will say I understand why people may not, um, you know, like the album so much. They're old school Blink fans. They grew up with the original, the original three, the original Blink albums. I get it, but it's a fun album. Even if you remove the band, this is how I like to look at things sometimes. Take the band name away from everything, and it's an incredible album. It's for me, controversial time, number one. This was my number one Blink-182 album.
Wow.
Not counting the deluxe, I will say that.
Oh, okay. Well, as I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're on the same page. Like, it's my number one as well. Like, I kid you not. It's like, it's just so good. It's so, Kyle, I don't know what's going on right now, but it's brilliant.
Everything about it. The production sounds great, and again, say what you want about Feldman being a co-writer and putting na-nas in the songs. The production on it sounds great. It sounds good as an album. Even the album artwork, it's cool. The tour for it, I saw them on this tour with A Day to Remember and All Time Low, and it was great. They sounded great. Like I said, Matt does a great job. He had such big shoes to fill trying to live up to Tom, and he not only met those goals, like met that challenge, he exceeded it for me. I had more fun seeing them with Matt than I did with Tom, and he sounded better live than Tom ever did. This was such a great time period for the band, and such a great time to be a Blink-182 fan. And to me, it's number one. That could also just be, nostalgia for that summer when it came out. It's such a good time period, and it's just a fun time. But this album, when it came out, it blew away my expectations, especially after hearing Bored to Death, which I would put in mid tier of the album for me. So I went into it with not high expectations. So when that came out, I was like, whoa, this album kicks ass.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It was just I was blown. This is the album that got me made me go back to other Blink-182 stuff.
Yeah, put it this way. This album came out the same year as Revolution Radio by Green Day.
Yes.
This was my album of the year. Revolution Radio is one of my top, probably top 3 Green Day albums. Top 3 albums by my favorite band of all time. This album beat that out for album of the year this year.
Those are big words.
Big words.